And the final member of our panel, Michael Portillo, whose first career was, of course, in politics. He then left that and forged a very successful career and a very diverse career in the media. He's been part of some of my favourite television programmes. And now he's incredibly popular with both hosting and speaking events. Ladies and gentlemen, your panel.
Just to correct one thing in my biography, I didn't leave my first career, it left me. But,
surely not the second time
no,
you had
you're
the first
right.
career.
I'd be a little bit mean, but I was voted out of Parliament, and that was subsequently voted by Channel 4 viewers their third favourite moment of the 20th century. So it was quite a dramatic moment. Now, what were you asking about conferences? Oh, yes.
Briefing. How do you like to be briefed?
I entirely agree that I think the personal touch is the thing. What I want to do really is get to the essence. You know, what is the kind of clever, if you like, underlying point about the conference? Because lots of people who go to a conference are stuck into nitty-gritty and detail. Sometimes they're not able to stand back and think about what is the big issue, even in their own field. And so I like to be quite a provocative and opinionated chairman. So I like to pick up from a dialogue that I have with experts the days before what is kind of the big issue about which one can be, you know, a bit exciting and provocative and get people going. I mean, for example, I did a conference recently on literacy. Most of the people there had turned up in order to talk about nitty-gritty of literacy. But what I wanted to ask was, you know, why is it, this was in Britain, why is it that in Britain, as opposed to almost anywhere else in the world, poor people don't see education as the way out of their predicament? In the developing world, people do. And that was kind of such a fundamental question that it really kind of challenged the whole conference. Yeah. I remember once, I'd been delayed on my plane by 8 hours or something. I arrived at a conference in Ireland. It was a big business. It was run by Smurfit, and Mr. Smurfit was retiring after 50 years. And at the end of his speech, he burst into tears and had to be helped from the stage because he was so sad about retiring after 50 years. And then they said, now Michael Portillo will make the address. And it was one of the most challenging things I ever did. But you have to adapt. And I remember I said, none of us in this room is ever going to forget the moment when we heard John Smurfit announce that after 50 years of the most... In other words, you have to make a drama out of everything. You have to lift it. If it's a very, very boring subject, I mean, I do lots of award ceremonies where they give these prizes for the most extraordinarily obscure things. And I'm afraid, and here I go being a little bit blue, I simply take the piss. You know, you have to have some enjoyment with these amazing categories that you're required to read out.
You don't want the job next year, then?
No, they love it. I mean, as long as people are enjoying themselves, that's what they want. I always get back from award ceremonies more exhausted and more hoarse than from anything else. I entirely agree. You do make your money there. It absolutely depends on the host to keep control, and if you lose it, it's a miserable evening for everybody.